Shalom Israel first. I want to give all praise and glory honor to Yahweh Shemiah Shai Shem Kakodash. They want to see Pastor Ezra Millstone, Peace, Citation, 1/3 of Israel. And for this lesson, I want to title it, It's Vital. Right? And, what's vital are the law, such commandments. The law, such commandments, to rule the earth. All right? And really, this lesson stems off a video I was watching. And it was talking about how all, these empires they all have expiration dates, and, the empire we're in right now, we're currently approaching that expiration date. All right. Hence, hence why you see everything you see now. All right. And, but let me get the scriptures and, kind of drive home the point. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 9 and I'll start at 1. It says, O power of my fathers and Lord of mercy, who has made all things with thy word, and ordained man through thy wisdom, that he should have dominion over the creatures which thou hast made, and order the world according to equity and righteousness, and execute judgment with an upright heart. So you can only do these things by the way of following the law, such commandments, by implementing the law, such commandments. That's because the law, such commandments is what brings in order, and righteousness and perfect judgment. All right, because the scripture says the law of the Lord is perfect. All right, so we don't have to get it, but let me chat GPT. I looked this up earlier. What were what are the laws of the Bible for? Someone might be like, oh, that was the Old Testament, this, that, and third, but you see how, when there's no righteous order, there's no law, statutes, commandments, and being implemented, everything's gonna be it's gonna be out of whack. Let me get that scripture since I said it right quick. I had that written down. All right, this is Psalms 82 and 5. Psalms 82 and 5. It says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All right. And, this world is immersed in gross darkness, Isaiah 60 and 2. People don't know, these people don't know shit. All right. It says, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. And why is that? Because the wicked is ruling. The wicked is everything's out of order because the wicked, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, is not governing the earth on how it should be. Hence why you got all this, this corruption, pollution, all type. Everything's out of whack. This is not how the earth is supposed to be ran. All right, but let me go back to the chat GPT. It says the laws in the Bible serve several purposes, depending on the context and tradition interpreting them. It says moral guidance. Many biblical laws, especially the Ten Commandments, provide a moral framework. Principles like not stealing, not killing, honoring parents, and being faithful in relationships. These are meant to guide personal behavior and create a just society. Which in this world, that's promoted. Stealing. That black culture shit. Which Esau, he's all behind it. Stealing, killing. Basically everything the scriptures tell you not to do, Esau pushes to do, through these sellouts and whatnot. And these sellouts, they're fucked, all right, because they got a lot of blood on their hands, all right, corrupting the minds of Jake. It says covenant with the Most High in the Old Testament, especially in books like Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. The laws are a part of a covenant, a sacred agreement between the Most High and the people of Israel. But no, it's for everybody, though. ChatGPT just cut that. So following these laws was a way for the Israelites to show their loyalty to the Most High and live as His chosen people. And we're a separate nation. All right, the Lord, He put His name on it. He put His name on our people. So therefore, we have to walk accordingly. It's just like your woman. You got a woman. You uphold her to a higher standard than women that aren't even yours. You don't care about those that aren't even yours. The woman that that aren't yours. You know why? Because it's not yours. All right. But the woman that you put your name on and you provide for and so on and so forth, take care of, she has to abide by your rules. All right. But these heathens, they live however. All right. Religious ritual impurity. Many laws related to worship practices, sacrifices, dietary rules, rituals for cleanliness. These help maintain spiritual and communal order and distinguish the Israelites from surrounding cultures. All right, because when you read back, you saw the Hamites, right? Those Canaanites and whatnot. They were doing all types of wickedness, and these heathens, they're into all types of shit. You got Hamites, blowing in cows' asses and shit to make them like it's just weird as fuck. All right, but yet we're all equal. Fucking it's bullshit. All right, and they be like showering in cow piss, and these Elamites be throwing shit at each other. It's all fucking out of whack. All right, and that's why when we come into power, we gonna rule as it says Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter, 2nd verse. Or the 3rd verse. Rule it with in order. According to equity, righteousness, judgment. All right. This is gonna be the governing standard for the whole universe. All right, because we're gonna be ruling other planets too. All right, but it says civil and social order. Some biblical laws are designed to govern society. Rules about property, justice, family, slavery, and how to resolve disputes. These function like a legal code for ancient Israel. All right, and when you go back into the laws, you see, there's a system, in place to take care of each other. There's basically a welfare system. Like for example, when you had crops, right? You had a vineyard, right? You couldn't take all the grapes off the tree, all right? Because you had poor Israelites, that will come in and they'll get some, all right? It's also we could take care of each other, but what does Esau do? He don't just take the grapes. He take the whole tree and leave you with nothing. He'll take your shit, all right? And that's why this fucking devil is going to go in slavery. This nigga, he's fucked, all right? This nigga, what's that scripture? Sleep. Some to fall. There you go. Proverbs 4:16, it says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall." So this is the mindset of the devil. All right, he don't get a good night's sleep unless this nigga fucking does some wickedness. All right. Let me get Job 9:24. That's enough on the chat GPT. I didn't mean to drag it out. Plus, I only got limited time, 7 minutes. All right, Job 9:24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he?" All right, and who's ruling right now? Esau, Edom. All right, as it's prophesied. That as it's prophesied on who will be ruling in the last days. Because when Yahweh shall return, you can get Isaiah 63. Who's this that coming from Edom, or who's this that coming to Edom with dyed garments from Basra, roughly paraphrasing. So, and who's that represent? Esau, Edom. All right, and that's Yahweh shall returning, to Esau, Edom, who will be in power, and we're in the last days. All right, 2nd Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. All right. But yeah, so Esau's ruling right now, and everything's out of whack, as we read in Psalms 82:5. All the foundations of the earth are out of course because it's not being ruled properly. All right, this world is mourning right now. All right, let's get it. It's in Proverbs 29. There you go. Proverbs 29:2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." Look at the people. Look at all the people on the earth right now. People are mourning. It's like each and every day there's new videos popping up on TikTok and whatnot of people complaining on how they can't afford living. Everything is just out of whack. All right, but in the kingdom, that's not going to be the case. Well, especially for our people, Israel. You know, we all gonna be good. All right. But you heathens, y'all gonna serve y'all captivity punishment for 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years, you know, y'all gonna be straight. You know, y'all gonna be subject under us. All right. Except you Edomites, y'all are fucked. All right. Y'all got captivity to look forward to, and then extermination, pursuing the Obadiah 1:15, 1:18. There you go. So, but let me get some more scriptures. All right, I'll do Sirach 10. I'll kind of skim through these. All right, Sirach 10:1, it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And look who's ruling, you know, the earth right now. You know, look at these rulers. They're into all types of fucking weird shit, you know. Got all types of P rings and into children, all types of wickedness. This is who's ruling the fucking earth right now, right? And but guess, you know, it's their time to rule. But you know, we at the end of this shit, all right? You know, I'm zealous right now. I'm mad. I fucking hate this place. But let me keep reading. It says, an unwise king destroyed his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over one that is profitable. All right, and that's what's gonna happen. All right, the Lord, he's gonna set us up in power, beginning with, you know, Yahushua and the elect on down, you know, which we hope to be. All right, but you know, I'm gonna read the first verse again. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And a wise judge, you know, rules and judges according to the law, such commandments, not Esau's law book and shit. All right, because you see Esau's judgment, it's all fucking out of whack. You know, they'll throw the book at Jake for doing the same crime. You know, say for example, shit, like a weed charge, right? Esau, he'll throw the book at Jake for a weed charge, and he'll give Esau probation for a weed charge. You know, that's just all out of whack. You know, in the kingdom, well, us Israelites, we ain't gonna be going off because we're gonna be perfect. But you know, righteous judgment is gonna go out no matter who you are. You know, so if you commit adultery, if you Edomite, you commit adultery, or you a Hamite and you commit adultery, you both getting put to death pursuant to the law. All right, and that's what needs to happen. All right, righteous judgment, but that doesn't happen here. All right, and let's get Wisdom of Solomon 1:15. It says, for righteousness is immortal. All right, so we're gonna be ruling a righteous kingdom. All right, so therefore it's gonna be immortal. It's not gonna die. That's why our kingdom is prophesied to be eternal. All right, because we're gonna be perfect. We're gonna be ruling in righteousness. All right, not like these heathens. You know how they rule in wickedness. Therefore, you know, their shit is on the time limit. All right, but us, you know, if we're pleasing Yahweh Shemi outside perfectly and ruling the earth on how it should be, then there's gonna be no end. All right. You know, that's really the point I wanted to drive home. But let me get let's see, Deuteronomy 4:7. We'll probably get that. All right, because that's what, you know, what elevates us above the nations is this. Deuteronomy 4 and I'll start at 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. All right, yeah, I ended off in this. Even as the Lord my power commanded me that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. All right, that's how you're supposed to rule. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who hath the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. All right, so that's going to be the governing standard of the planet Earth to come. All right, but right now we in Esau's, you know, decrepit rulership. But hey, this shit's about to fall at any time, you know, very soon. All right, so hopefully this is edifying. I want to give all praise and glory honor to Yahweh by Shemi outside, by Shemi Kakodash. Next time, shalom.